Hi there, I'm Lolsuit. I'm calling from the Project Diablo 2 YouTube offices, and I'm sitting slightly off center so that my title can pop up next to me. Now I'm here to tell you, with some authoritative finger pointing, we know our stuff. We know business. Don't believe me? Check out some of these slow-moving action shots. Notice how it subtly implies that we know what we're doing because the video editing is on point. Don't believe me still? Check out this clip of me working, laughing, and again, authoritatively pointing my finger to let you know I'm just like you. Now, our experts have valued this information session at over $10,000 of worth, but we're providing it to you for the low cost of a like, a comment, and a subscribe. So whichever YouTube channel you're watching this on, make sure to hit that button and let us know how you liked the video. What is Project Diablo 2? Well, Project Diablo 2, hereby referred to as PD2, is a mod for the original Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction game with the express goal of not just modding the original game, but continuing to add to it as if development had never ceased. The mod is run by Senpai Something, a former Diablo 2 streamer, and his right-hand man Canite, along with a small team of passionate coders and mods. The game is currently entering its 7th season, with resets that were attempted to be staggered with D2R, but the schedule for that has gotten a little off kilter. And what's different, though, about PD2? What is this different from other mods? Well, first off, it is the level of balance. Whenever someone mods a game, they inherently add things to it, but finding the right balance between the original and the mod is almost always difficult. If you've ever modded Fallout or Skyrim or any Bethesda games, you've certainly experienced this. And if you talk to anybody in the community, PD2 feels like the original game. It feels like they've hit that balance of, well, we're not modding it, we're just continuing it as if we had been the developers. If D2 had just had seasons and was continued like a normal AAA game, how would it look today? And they've really struck that balance. What's different, though, about PD2 also is now, at Season 7 at least, we will be playing at 60 FPS and have updated text. So while we don't have the D2R graphics, because Blizzard sucks and won't let anybody mod that, this game is fucking beautiful now. Also, first thing we have to talk about is maps. Mapping is the bread and butter for most PD2 players, and they function similar to rifts from Diablo 3 without the problem of having to play Diablo 3. The maps contain modifiers on them that can increase monster density, health, player resistances, extra damage, extra spicy minions like dolls, etc. And they also add magic find to the maps themselves, so you don't have to necessarily have a magic find character to find anything good in this game. And this has created an end game for Diablo 2, something even D2R has failed to provide. And the drops in PD2 maps are set to players 5, which creates a nice balance between still having your old dungeon crawling grind, but not too bad that you'll spend years doing a Holy Grail run. On top of that, we have endgame bosses, Ubers, Declone, and Rathma. Now, Ubers in PD2 have been buffed but function fairly similar to Diablo 2 in the original, but those Ubers now drop additional mats that can be bind with other mats to open up a new Declone fight. Now, the Declone, when you get the mats for it, it teleports you into a small room and you fight a new Declone. Diablo is tougher and stands still, but he also spawns minions that will bend you over like a freshman on prom night, and he takes no damage when you're out of a certain range. The fight is tough, but it can be now modified with different difficulty levels by adding high runes to the token needed to open him. If you beat Declone, there are even additional mats that can be gathered to open up a unique fight to PD2, Rathma. This character model was designed by Erlen, a member of the community or mod team, I don't know, but he did a great fucking job with it. And the fight is tough as balls. I won't spoil it since this is a hype video to get you nerds to play the game. The point is, we, unlike all other Diablo players, have an end game. And I'm not counting Diablo 3 as having an end game again because that game sucks. What else is different is every class and skill essentially has been reworked. However, I want to stress the point of PD2 is still to continue adding to the game as if development never ceased. So everything is tight, controlled, and balanced. There are just not builds that shred through everything and make it trivial, which is often the problem that happens when you mod games. So So for example, our Barbarian, the classic, the overpowered shouts have been nerfed to make them more reasonable, but things like Grim Ward now adds damage. There's a new bleed skill at level 30 for the Barbs, and you can have items like Raycor's Helm that allows Barbs to place additional curses on enemies. So you can actually play a dual curse Barbarian. Amazon can now be built into a summoner with decoys that spray strafe instead of just, stand there and soak up damage, and multiple Valkyries are able to be summoned as well. Even the go-to build for this weapon, this is my preferred class, is a Demon Machine, which now has the ability to trigger a multi-shot when you strafe. Oh, and strafe is actually a viable build now too. The Assassin, all martial arts have been reworked with new animations, and it's goddamn beautiful. Just look at this. Necromancer. I mean, the Necro now has a Golem-centric summoner build, so you can summon multiple Golems. Poison and Bone skills rock and are viable, and Cursemancer is now a thing, applying curses and popping them for massive damage. Sork, well, it is still Sork, but the skills have been reworked, and there is a new Ice Barrage skill that's wonderful for season starts. Staves also now have chance to cast additional skills on them, so for example, you can have a Meteor build that procs additional meteors when you cast. Druid. Druid has also, obviously, like everything, been reworked. I hate Druid, and I never play it because I'm not a furry. That joke never gets old because it's true. But summons have been reworked, and making vines actually a useful thing to summon now. Paladins. Paladins can actually play an actual healer role in the game, and Sacrifice has been made into a good skill that drops corpse explosions on the ground from your overkill damage. So that means two-handed paladins are a thing. And lastly, we have Corruptions, which if you've ever played other Diablo 2 mods, you probably know how these work. World Stone Shards drop in the world from any content, and you can use them to add crazy, insane modifiers to your weapons, such as getting 6 sockets on an item, or having ED and IAS added to it, or Deadly Strike. The end point is, Diablo 2 has died. It's an old game, but it is well alive in Project Diablo 2. And this very short video, I could not go over everything. I simply do not have the time in my life right now to do the massive project that I wanted to. But if this has in any way enticed you, please go check the game out. As I said in my most popular video, trying to get D2R players to come over, if you give this game a shot, I'm willing to bet 9 out of 10 of you are going to end up staying. You won't be able to play D2R anymore. That's the only downside to Project Diablo 2 is that people who play it almost can't never go back to D2R. And now with the 60 FPS update, I don't really think there's much reason to stick around for fancy graphics anymore. The game is beautiful, well balanced, and perfect. So I hope to see you there for Season 7, which at the time of recording this is 1 week away, opening on April 28th. All you need is an original, not an original, just any Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction CD key. Do not go pirate them. Actually, you have to go buy one from Blizzard, unfortunately. But if you have that, you can download the mod for this game from the website, live.projectdiablo2.com. And I should also mention, while you're at the website, you don't have to trade in-game anymore. You can actually post things to a centralized website and search for any item anyone is selling in the game. No D2JSP needed. So, hopefully I'll see you guys there. See you later.